What's the easiest choice you can make? Window instead of middle seat? Picking a vendor who sends a great gift basket? Outsourcing business tasks you hate? What about selling with Shopify? Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit a million orders stage. Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try. Go to shopify.com/try now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/try.
Hey guys, welcome back to Three Terrible Gamers podcast. This is episode 94, and I'm here with Colin.
Hey guys.
Alright, we have a couple from last week to go over, and then we're on to fresh topics, so we'll go ahead and jump into it. Assassin's Creed, Shadows, Power World, Control, and more coming to Mac.
Gamers have come to expect that most of the AAA titles are going to be available on either consoles or PC, but at this year's Worldwide Developers Conference, Apple signaled that the increased focus on gaming by bringing some pretty big games to Mac as a centerpiece for that shift. Ubisoft announced that Assassin's Creed Shadows is coming to Mac on November 15th, the same day that it's hitting PC and consoles. At Ubisoft, this is a quote from Ubisoft. Our mission is to enrich players' lives by creating original and memorable gaming experiences, said the Ubisoft producer Mark Alexis Cote during WWDC. We see a huge opportunity to share our passion for games to more players and Apple ecosystem thanks to the unified gaming platform with tight integration of Metal and Apple Silicon. According to Apple, the new game porting Toolkit 2 will allow developers like Ubisoft to bring more advanced games to Mac with greater Windows compatibility. Following Ubisoft's brief presentation of Assassin's Creed Shadows, Apple confirmed that the following games are also coming to Mac and other PC devices, with Control Ultimate Edition, Dead Island 2, Frostpunk 2, Power World, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, Resident Evil Biohazard, Resident Evil 2, Riven, RoboCop, Rogue City, Sniper Elite 4, Valheim, World of Warcraft, The War Within, and Wuthering Waves? Never heard of that title before.
Haven't either.
That is a small list of impressive titles for now, but the game porting Toolkit 2 allows more developers to easily bring their games to Mac. Then that list has the potential to get a lot larger in the near future.
Yeah, so it used to be like people looked down on Mac and be like, oh, Mac can't play games or whatever. But since Apple started making their own chips with the Apple Silicon chips, they've gotten a lot more powerful, and then you can play some pretty impressive games on Macs. So that's why you see a lot more games coming to Macs nowadays.
Yeah, but I know a Mac is typically your laptop, but do they have like an actual like PC now? I know that like back in the day they did, obviously, because that was the only thing there was.
Yeah, Mac, like I'm using a desktop. It's just a Mac Mini. It's not a laptop, it's a desktop, but they have the Mac Minis, which is what I have. It's just a square desktop about that thick, And then they have a Mac Studio. It's a little taller, but it's also a square. And then they have, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a Mac, but it's like a actual like PC tower, like tall.
Gotcha.
But it's pretty expensive. But yeah, they do have PC towers, well, at least one. But you can customize it to your whatever RAM you want or SSD and whatever.
Apple wouldn't be expensive.
No.
That's not what they're known for at all.
Cheapest tech company out there.
Yeah. You know, obviously you've heard the iPhones getting released and everything else, and they're always a higher price tag than anything else.
Yeah.
You expect the same thing with their computers.
Definitely. But yeah, I mean, Mac, they're more than powerful to run modern games now. And like, I mean, that's what I do all the recording and editing from is my Mac. But just I like the operating system on Mac better than Windows but you kind of need both because everything's programmed for Windows because that's what the majority of people have. So
yeah. And Windows has been, well, I'm not going to say they've been in the game a lot longer because Apple was just right there with them at the beginning of, computers existing.
Right, but just, I mean, your cheapest computer from Apple is almost $1,000, and you can get a cheap Windows laptop for $200. So, I mean, the entry level is there, and which one you're going to get, which one does most people have? So, Windows.
Yeah. That and like when we was kids, it was Windows everything.
Yeah.
Everyone had a Windows.
Right. Yeah, I didn't use the Mac operating system until I worked for Apple. And it took a while to get used to, but once I got used to it, I liked it better than Windows. But you kind of need both, like I said, because everything's made for Windows.
Yep. But now they're entering the gaming market, which don't really surprise me because I figured they would start trying to slowly eke into it, especially like with the success of like Apple Arcade and stuff on their phones and iPads.
Right. Like you said, they're getting more games, and then even the emulator side of things, like emulators are getting to be compatible with Mac as well, like Dolphin and other ones. All right, we'll move on. Sticking with Apple and getting games, Resident Evil 7 is coming to Apple devices soon.
Yeah, also known as Biohazard, which I didn't realize that whenever I initially wrote it down last week. Yeah, 7 is Biohazard. I do believe, I don't think I'm wrong on that one.
Yeah, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Yep.
But yeah, the first of the 2 Resident Evil Biohazard will launch on the App Store July 2nd. This game will be playable on iPhone 15 Pro, iPhone 15 Pro Max, and all iPad and Mac modes. Powered by M1 chips or later. Resident Evil 2 is currently in development, and no further news, regarding to the release date of this time. At this time, the game will be available on the same Apple devices. For more information, check out the official website, which I didn't really have it posted. But yeah, so like I said, mentioned in the last topic that Resident Evil 7 is, coming to the same thing. It's great. It's weird to me that, such a big game is going to be able to be ran on a phone.
Yeah.
It was quite a few gigabytes to download.
I mean, like I said about the last topic, like these Apple chips are crazy powerful, and it is crazy to think about an iPhone can run a game like this, but it can, and steady, 60 frames. So
I'm sure that the download size will be a little bit different for the phones from what they will be for the actual computer modes.
Right, yeah. I mean, the graphics aren't going to be as good, obviously, so it's going to be less, storage size that way, but...
You think it'll be 60 frames per per second on the phone, or do you think they'll knock it down to 30?
I don't know. Most games run 60 frames on a phone. But it being what it is, they might knock it down to 30, but I don't know. I mean, I think if they cut the graphics down to, what an iPhone would still look good on an iPhone. I mean, they could probably stick it with 60.
Yeah. What iPhone 15 is the most recent iteration, right?
Yeah.
And it seems like, well, not even the base model iPhone 15 will have it. It's just Pros and up.
Pro and Pro Max, yep.
Because there's 3 versions. There's the 15, then the Pro, then the Pro Max.
Yeah. Pro and Pro Max usually have higher chips than the regular version.
Yeah. What you pay extra money for?
Yep. All of that and the better cameras. You get an extra camera, you get 2. I mean, you get 3 instead of 2 on the Pros.
Are they different sizes too? Like one's bigger than the other? Like
the
actual,
15
like,
and the 15 Pro are the same, but the 15 and Pro Max, Pro Max is bigger.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't know.
That's why it's
It's
Max.
been a while since I had an iPhone.
Do you remember when they were like 7 Plus and like 7 and 7 Plus?
Yeah, I had an 8 Plus. That was the last one.
Yeah, so the Max took over the Plus. That's just a bigger phone now.
Gotcha. Because I knew initially it was, which I think before it was just the regular iPhone, whatever number it was, in the Plus.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they had a third iteration. It was just 2 iterations.
Right. I don't think
So obviously the Plus was always a little bit bigger.
I don't think the Pros came out until 12, I think.
Gotcha.
I think.
But yeah, it's just, like I said, for me it was 8 Plus. I had an 8 Plus.
Yeah.
So I knew the 8 was slightly smaller.
Basically, the Pro Max is just Pro Plus. It's just a bigger phone.
Yeah. Which, I mean, definitely screen size makes a huge difference on all of those.
Yeah, I still get the regular size, though. I don't like having something huge in my pocket. But I know a lot of people do. But, just not for me.
Carry around an iPad in your pocket.
Yeah.
That's an option. You can get open
It
source
is.
on those things.
They have iPad minis, too. So.
In all honesty, how quick phones were growing when we was kids. I thought that was going to be the reality before we went to high school. Was you going to have something the size of like an iPad?
I honestly thought that too, and I'm surprised it didn't get that crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely a shocking thing because, like I said, how small the first iPhone was in 2007. And then just every single year that it released, it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So 2007, we still in elementary school? Definitely.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, okay. By the time we're in high school, this thing's probably going to be, the size of a whole computer screen. Because obviously computer screens weren't that big then.
Right.
For the most part.
Yeah, you didn't have these 27-inch monitors out yet.
Yeah. If they did, you was the top of the top.
Yeah.
Not just an average
They were a lot
thing.
more expensive than they are now.
Yeah. And they weren't flat screens either. They were
CRT, big old CRT TVs, basically.
Yeah. Rainbow TV.
I remember that thing.
It was definitely different.
Yeah. All right. I guess we'll move on to the Nintendo Direct recap.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Before we even start, what would you give this? What grade would you give this Nintendo Direct? A through F.
So I'm not allowed to give it an A plus?
Nope.
Okay, A through F, which I wasn't going to give it an A plus. I'm going to give it an A minus.
A minus?
Nothing's ever perfect.
Okay.
It was super good.
It was solid. Had a lot. I mean, pretty much something for everybody.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
that was what was so
and
good
as a
about it.
Nintendo fan.
I think they could have laid it out a little bit differently, and I think that's where my thing really pretty much tapers. Everything on there was good. I've heard of, most of the things that were, remakes, remasters, whatever.
Yeah.
I had heard of most of those titles, so, it wasn't, it was a shock that they was bringing them back to an extent. But, like I said, I just think they laid it out because, which this is going into one of the games, when they done Legend of Zelda, not quite midway through, but just about 2/3 of the way through, I'm just like, there's something major coming at the very end since they didn't do a Zelda title at the very end, because they always save Zelda for last.
Which we've seen what came last, and we've found out why, but
yeah.
I was surprised they done Mario first. Like, that just out of the gate is Mario.
Yeah. Well,
kinda.
The fact, because the Mario and Luigi games reminds me kind of like a Paper Mario
It's
title.
an RPG, yeah. But still a Mario game, so usually they don't start with something like that, but
the reason why I think they've done it that way is because obviously they just done the hype behind the 1,000-Year Door.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, we're going to go out swinging because, yet again, it's not technically a Paper Mario game, but, it is a Mario RPG, so, plays the same as a Paper Mario game.
Well, for me, I didn't start watching the Direct at first. I was at work and we marking for a helicopter and stuff, so we got a short break, so I just turned it on and I seen E.G. Aonuma. So I was like, okay, this is going to be a Zelda. And then, so the first thing I seen was Zelda, but then I got home and watched and seen the first thing was Mario Luigi Brothership. So I was like, okay, they started out with Mario, then that tells you that this is going to be a pretty good Direct. They're going to have a bunch of stuff if they're going to start out with Mario.
Yeah. That's which I didn't watch it till later in the day, and I just watched the whole thing all at once. But yeah, starting out with Mario and Luigi, which yet again not my style. That gameplay is not my style of play. Which the last one that came out was for the Wii, I believe. Mario and Luigi.
They had some for the 3DS.
3DS.
Yeah, Bowser's Inside Story, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe I'm not sure. And then I think they remade Superstar Saga, if I'm not mistaken, not too long ago. Because Superstar Saga, I had it for Game Boy Advance. I actually played it, got pretty far into it, and then I was like, I don't even like this game. Why am I playing it? So I didn't even play it anymore because, it's an RPG. So
yeah, even as a kid, you knew you didn't like it.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but yeah, so in no particular order, which of course, the first thing on Nintendo's website is Metroid Prime 4, which we've been talking about this game for pretty much since the podcast started.
I mean, right before they updated us, it'd been 7 years since it was announced, and we hadn't heard anything at all in those 7 years.
Except rumors.
Yeah, except rumors.
Which we've covered literally every single time that it came across that something new was potentially in development or something got whatever. But yeah, Metroid Prime 4 is a realistic thing now. Obviously, they didn't show the Switch 2 or whatever predecessor, so...
Which we knew that before they...
Yeah.
Like, they literally said to make sure, they make sure everybody knew that you won't see the Switch 2 in this Direct.
No. At this point, I say September Direct is when we'll see a Switch 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And
that's
since
my prediction.
Kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but you'll cover it, or I'll cover it later, but Metroid said it'll release sometime in 2025.
Yes.
So saying that they didn't give a specific date, that still makes me think that I'm right, that it's going to be a launch title, a cross-generation launch title for the Switch 2, since they didn't give a specific date, because if they gave a specific date, then that may tell us the date that the Switch 2 comes out.
Yes, I say that is easily. I thought the same exact thing whenever they said 2025. I'm just like, okay, it's going to be a launch title.
Yeah. And I think they're still not sure exactly what day they want the Switch 2 to come out, and that's another reason they didn't give a specific date on Metroid.
At the same time, why would you though? Because even if you did have an exact date in mind, you don't want to tell people when your console is going to come out this early if you haven't even announced your console yet.
Right.
Because even with the rumors and stuff, we speculated that Metroid Prime 4, if it does get made, which obviously it is now, but at the time it was, if it does get made, it's going to be a launch title. There's no and ifs or buts.
I've seen a lot of people online saying that that's the stupidest thing they've ever heard. Why would they have a Metroid as a launch title? Because Metroid doesn't sell well in Japan. Japan's not the only country that games sell.
No.
Metroid's extremely popular here in the United States and North America. So it doesn't have to be the only launch title. Like, there's usually more than one launch title.
Yeah.
You could still launch with some kind of Mario game or Zelda if you wanted to, a remake of some sort.
Yeah, because it was Luigi's Mansion for the GameCube, and shortly after is when the original Prime came out.
Yeah.
So it was basically a launch title with the GameCube too. It was with months of it coming out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's that the gameplay that we've seen. Do you think that was on the Switch too, or do you think they done like a dumbed down version on the actual Switch?
I think that was Switch, because I think they know that there's so many data miners and analysts out there that they'd be like, wait, those graphics are too good to be on the Switch. That was definitely Switch 2 gameplay we just seen. So I think it was definitely Switch.
Yeah, because how crisp it was, I couldn't really determine it one way or another.
It looked good. It did look good, but I think that was Switch, because now they're to the point they can make Switch games look really, really good because they know the hardware better towards the end of the life cycle. So.
Well, they've even released in the statements that they've done testing for it, and they said that the Switch can easily run 60 frames per second now. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, it's the end of the life cycle, and now you're going to say that it can run 60 frames per second?
Which some first-party games do, not very many, but I know Skyward Sword HD, when they remade it, it runs 60. So it can run games at 60, just not very many of them do.
Yeah. And yet again, there's not really much of a reason to, because most of your first-party titles are all single-player experiences anyways.
Right. You don't have to have, like, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. They don't have to play 60 frames because you have enough fun and there's so much going on. 30 frames is plenty for you to have fun. Like, it doesn't hold you back or anything.
What's the easiest choice you can make? Window instead of middle seat? Picking a vendor who sends a great gift basket? Outsourcing business tasks you hate? What about selling with Shopify? Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try. Go to shopify.com/try now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/try.
And then, obviously, like we've mentioned before, it was The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, which they missed an opportunity to call it Legend of Link. I'm not going to lie there. Kind of upset over that one. That's another reason why they got an A-. Well, for years, Legend of Zelda, you've always played as Link, but this one you are going to play as Zelda.
I think if they would have called it The Legend of Link, that would have been a pretty gutsy change there. And I made a lot of Zelda fans mad, I think, because of just how the Zelda community is. So I think they just took the safety route and just called it Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, which I kind of figured they would do something like this, especially since Princess Peach Playtime was relatively successful, like the Switch version. And, it's the first new 2D Zelda game in a hot while.
Yeah, since 2013, A Link Between Worlds.
Yeah, Worlds.
So what's more? I think what's even more of a missed opportunity is not calling it The Legend of Zelda: The Missing Link. But,
Yeah.
I think that would have hit a little better. But, yeah, I mean, Echoes of Wisdom, you see why it's called that, and it makes sense. So,
Yeah. Especially if you know what the Triforce stands for.
yeah, exactly.
What part Zelda plays into it.
Wisdom. Triforce of Wisdom. So.
Yeah. Of course, my dumb honey, whenever I was like trying to rewatch a video, I done Echoes of Courage. I'm just like, wait, no, Link's, what are we missing? What was I thinking here? But, just playing as Link forever, you're just like, courage.
Yeah,
courage.
Basically
But
drilled
like,
into your head that Link's courage, yeah. So.
But yeah, and then along with that, they're going to release, which is coming out September 26th, and along with it is going to come a Nintendo Switch Lite Hyrule Edition.
I think it's just gold and then has on the back maybe a Triforce, I think.
Hylian Crest.
Or is it Hylian Crest? I don't know. Either one of them.
Yeah. And then this is straight from Nintendo's website. Series arrives September 26th as well, and Australia and New Zealand players can enjoy access to a range of classics, The Legend of Zelda titles from the NES to Super NES, Game Boy, Nintendo 64, and Game Boy Advance. With I don't know why they decided to specifically say Australia and New Zealand, because obviously you can do that everywhere. Unless Australia and New Zealand don't have that option to play Nintendo Switch Online Zelda games right now.
Maybe not. I'm not sure.
So if you're listening in those countries, September 26th is your day to start playing Zelda games across, every platform.
Yeah.
I already mentioned it. Mario and Luigi Brothership is the, game's name that started out the whole Switch, swinging for the fences. Like I said, none of these are in any particular order. Nintendo World Championship NES Edition, which seems like this is going to be a physical release, and you're competing pretty much a speedrunning game. How fast can you do XYZ?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
Which, I mean, I guess that's cool to an extent.
Yeah.
Especially if you're into speedrunning.
You're going to see speedrunners speedrun NES Championship Edition.
Yeah, and they're going to hold all the records on those, titles.
Easy. Yeah.
Because I'm sure which especially being a digital, but there's going to be a digital version. Pre-orders for the digital version available now on Nintendo eShop. So I don't guess you can pre-order, but July 18th is when that's supposed to come out. So it's yet again, that's just a weird concept, which I think they've done something like that in the past before.
Yeah, it's based off of something that they've done for, I know, maybe an event they had. I think it's based off of it, maybe. Because I read about it before, that it's based off of something that they've done in the past, and they decided to make a game about it. So I think it was like a physical event they did in person before, and then they're making the game. I don't know.
Yeah. Then there's Nintendo Switch Basketball. It's a free update.
Pretty cool.
It's coming.
It's like Wii basketball, pretty much.
Free update, use motion controls. Yeah, which I've seen it. It looked. It's a Wii Sports game.
I mean, it looks fine.
Yeah.
What you can expect.
What Wii Sports Plus Resorts had
Basketball
in it,
yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, it looked the exact same, pretty much. I mean, the same, using the Joy-Con like you do the Wii remote.
I think that's the difference, was 2-on-2, wasn't on the other one.
I think so, yeah.
And then there's Donkey Kong Country Returns HD.
That's a good one. I played it on the Wii. I didn't play it on 3DS, but
You had to have the plus control for that thing too, didn't you?
I don't think so. Because you could hold it. You hold the controller sideways.
Gotcha. I couldn't remember if that was one of the ones you had borrowed the Wii Plus adapter for back in the day.
No, that was for Skyward Sword, and then Wii Sports Resort.
Yeah, I knew the two had came out close together though, so I just assumed they were both running on the same thing. Because I never got into Donkey Kong I still can't really get into it today.
Donkey Kong Country?
I've never been. No.
Oh, those are great games. I
played them. I just can't get into them.
Yeah.
All right, then Luigi Mansion 2 HD. So what it was originally called Dark Moon on the 3DS.
Yeah. Comes out 5 days, day of recording.
Yep. And then the Game Boy Advance side of it, you got 2 more Link Classic Adventures with Link to the Past 4 Swords and Metroid Zero Mission, which is the prequel or the original game technically just for the Game Boy.
Yeah, it's a remake of the original game. If you're going to play the original game, that's what I would recommend. That's how I've played it.
And then N64 got a mature, setting now. So I guess there's a whole different
tier
section
maybe?
to the expansion.
Yeah.
Huh?
Not really a tier, but I guess it's just a section.
Yeah. But it came with Turok, the original Turok, I should say.
Turok Dinosaur
And
Hunter.
yes. And Perfect Dark, which is a 4-player online multiplayer game, kind of like GoldenEye.
Yeah. Shooter.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Turok, definitely, I'm just like, okay, I'm definitely going to play Turok, because I never played the original. I just played Evolution on the GameCube.
I played the original, just emulation, and, it was fine, but Evolution, in my opinion, but that's what I could be biased because that's what I grew up with. I think Evolution's better. And plus, it's newer.
The one M-rated game we was allowed to play since we was like 4.
Yeah.
It was dinosaurs.
Yeah. Why not?
Super Mario Party Jamboree. It's it's a Mario Party game. I've never got into those either.
I've owned them. I just could not. Mini games are not something that I find enjoyable usually.
7 is the first and last one I had, and it was for the GameCube.
I had 2 for the GameCube. I can't remember which one. 7 and whichever one. I don't remember. Because there was a bunch that came out from the GameCube, if I remember right. Like, a lot. But, no, just couldn't get into the mini games. Like, if I'm going to play a game, I don't want to play a mini game. I want to play an actual adventure or something to do, not just pointless waste of time.
And for the most part, some of them were the turn-based.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Don't like taking turns, especially with computers.
Yeah, because it's rigged.
We've been in Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. It's coming out November 14th. Plus Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake. Don't know why they had to add so many HDs and 2Ds in the whole mix. Because they was all 2D games from the get-go.
So everybody should know if they're going to be coming in HD, they're not going to just make them 3D. They're still going to be 2D.
Yeah. Then the one that shocked me the most was obviously Lego Horizons Adventure. Because yet again, you don't typically expect to see Sony stuff on, Nintendo, which, we called it from the beginning.
Which we already knew about it, but it was still weird to see on a Nintendo Direct.
Yeah. Because yet again, how? At the beginning, I'm just like, oh yeah, no, it's, if it is a Lego thing, which, wound up being true, because I'm just, which I called it, I'm just like, if it does turn out to be a Lego title, they're going to be cross-platform, because Lego, that's the only way they work, is everybody gets it.
Except for Xbox.
Except for Xbox, which, I guess that's more for obvious reasons, because at least, Nintendo's at least a Japan-based company.
Yeah.
Just Dance 2025, another one. Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Oh, that's the one I'm most excited for.
I bet. You sound like somebody that play Hello Kitty.
I love some Hello Kitty. I didn't even know Hello Kitty was still popular. You haven't heard of it in a long time.
It's based in Japan.
Yeah, but you used to hear about it all the time.
I mean, I don't think I've really heard about it. Like,
Well, I guess I had a sister.
Since I was probably in 4th or 5th grade.
Yeah, I guess I had a sister, so.
Stray, which I believe it initially released on the Xbox, and it's coming to Switch as well.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was day one on Xbox, if I'm not mistaken, like Game Pass. I think we covered it way back when.
A long time ago.
Tale of the Shire, the Lord of the Rings game. Yet again, Lord of the Rings game, not going to play it.
Nope.
But it's out for, I think it was a shadow drop. I'm not saying a date on here. Mio, Memories in Orbit, which I think is going to be a new Nintendo title, if I'm not mistaken. It launches Switch next year, so it'll probably be another release-ish title for the Switch 2. Probably on both consoles, in all honesty.
Probably.
Disney Illusion Island, The Mystery Monolith. It's a free update. Funko Fusion. That's another game that I was surprisingly excited for. But, yeah. It's a Funko thing. It looked cool. You got a bunch of characters and a bunch of maps to play with.
Yeah, a ton of characters from different things.
Yeah.
Universes.
Yeah. I guess I'm a little biased.
He-Man, Chucky.
Yeah.
Freddy Fazbear or whatever.
Marty Fly.
Yeah.
Among Us, it's a free update. I guess there's going to be new crewmates statuses.
Yeah. I can't remember what they were, but
I think one's like a phantom and one's like a tracker.
Phantom
for the imposters.
Yeah.
I can't remember the crewmates. Maybe one calls like an emergency meeting, like as soon as you're killed, something like that.
I don't remember.
Darkest Dungeon 2 comes out on July 16th. Pre-orders begin, day of this direct. Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports. It's basically they just was like, oh yeah, you heard of Space Jam, so let's go ahead and just make an overall sports franchise with it.
I didn't like the art style.
No, neither did I. That's why I said I'm just like, oh yeah, they're just, I know that obviously the most recent Space Jam came out a few years ago, but, whenever you have the same concept, which, yeah, you're playing multiple sports, but
still, yeah.
That's the only thing I think of is Space Jam at that point.
Yeah. Looney Tunes and basketball.
Metal Slug. Yeah, but I think there was soccer on there too.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, from what I remember.
Yeah.
Metal Slug Attack Reloaded. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. Arcade Classics. Oh, I played that in an arcade cabinet today. I went out to, which I sent you a picture of, like Mortal Kombat and Tekken, but they had a Marvel vs. Capcom 1 too, and I played on it. Absolutely got obliterated. Good thing it was free to play on there.
Yeah. I like Marvel vs. Capcom. I played it through emulation on the Sega Genesis emulator, but it's fun.
But you also had DC versus Mortal Kombat 2 growing up, didn't you?
On the 360, yeah.
Of course, obviously, that was never a arcade cabinet title.
Still fun. But
still same concept, crossover.
Yeah.
Phantom Brave, The Lost Hero, Switch next year. 100 Line, Last Defense Academy, Switch next year. Romancing Saga 2.
Ooh.
Don't know why they capitalized S. Well, they capitalized the S and the G. Don't know what the significance is in that.
I don't know.
Fantasian Neo Dimension. Fairy Tail 2. Ace Attorney Investigation Collection, which that's one of the older ones I had heard of. Never played it, but I had seen it on a few YouTube videos from different channels.
Yeah.
Farmangia. The new Depenman. Dempaman. And that was pretty much every game covered in the Nintendo Direct.
Your favorite?
I'm torn between Prime and Echoes of Wisdom. You too? Or is Prime a clear winner for you?
It's tough. I don't know. I'll say Zelda because it's a 2D Zelda we haven't gotten in a while, and it's something different. You play as Zelda. When the only time we've played as Zelda, it wasn't like a mainline Zelda game. It's not even canon. It's when Zelda won the Camelon or something like that came out for the Philips CDI, and it completely bombed. Everybody hated it, but fans remade that into a Game Boy version called Zelda's Adventure, and it's actually fun, but it's not made by Nintendo or anything. But so yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And it looks really good, Echoes of Wisdom. So I'll probably Zelda.
Yeah, I'll probably have to play through Prime 1 through 3.
Yeah, I'll finish Prime Remastered. Then I'll go to get my 2 through Dolphin and 3 through Dolphin. So.
Yeah. Wait, what? 3 was for the Wii U?
For the Wii.
Right? For the Wii.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But there's a thing called ROM hacks, and it takes 1, 2, and 3 and modernizes them and you can use like a regular controller, so you don't have to use like the Wii, like the Wii remote on Dolphin or anything. If you didn't want to, you can if you use regular Dolphin, but if you use ROM hacks, you can use a regular controller.
So it was a Wii title because you not used a GameCube controller anyways?
Not all games you could use the GameCube controller. No.
They specifically wanted you to suffer and do motion control on that game?
Yep. They did.
Like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 for the Wii.
Black Ops 1, I had it for the Wii. It's actually not bad. It's actually pretty cool being able to aim and shoot people, you know. It was pretty fun. But I'd still prefer to play it on the 360.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Alright, that's all the time we have. Kind of went over, but that's alright. We was giving you the recap. But we appreciate you guys for watching or listening. You can watch us on Twitch and YouTube. Follow our podcast socials, all of our personal socials. We have all of our socials like Discord, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, pretty much all of them. Our merch on Redbubble. Colin, you have anything?
No, not really. Next week we may be doing something slightly different, depending on how everything plays out. So we may or may not be not necessarily doing our collaboration earlier, but it'll be a different style of podcast next week potentially.
Yeah, just part of the crossover, you know. It may or may not be our regular news, you know, just depending on how everything plays out. But just giving you guys a heads up with that, give you something to look forward to, you know, something different.
And see if we can, you know, potentially mix it up in the future for you guys if you prefer that too.
Yeah.
You can let us know, then let us know what your favorite Nintendo Direct recap was game.
Yeah. Join our Discord and let us know. Or comment on YouTube, Instagram, whatever. All right.
All right. There you guys.
All right. Catch you in the next episode.